Chances are that your favorite baseball team used to be called something else. Let's talk about the names on the birth certificates for some of today's most popular ball clubs. For starters, the Milwaukee Brewers originated in Seattle, but their nickname at the time was the Pilots. The Baltimore Orioles can trace their roots all the way back to Milwaukee in 1901. Their nickname back then? Well, they were known as the Brewers. Some hardcore fans are aware that the New York Yankees were once called the New York Highlanders, but even fewer are aware that the original name of the ball club was the Baltimore Orioles. So, in essence, the Yankees used to be the original Orioles, the new Orioles used to be the original Brewers, and the new Brewers used to be Pilots. Not confused yet? Stick around, you will be. Most every baseball fan knows the Washington Nationals used to be the Montreal Expos, but fewer grasp that the Nationals filled the void left by the Washington Senators, who themselves were replacements for the original Washington Senators. Those first batch of Senators, they left the capital to become the Minnesota Twins, whereas the second incarnation, they vacated to become the Texas Rangers. Anyone care to venture what the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim were originally called? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess.
1, 2, 3.
If you guys said the California Angels, you would be wrong because their original name was the Los Angeles Angels. Except back in 1961, they didn't play in Anaheim. No, they played at Wrigley Field. Confused? Don't be. Back then there were 2 Wrigley Fields, and the Angels played at the Los Angeles version for 1 season, which was right before they began to play their first of 3 consecutive seasons at Dodger Stadium. As for the lovable tenants of the far more famous Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs, well, they were actually originally known as, brace yourselves, the Chicago White Stockings. Here's a quick rundown on some of the other seminal team names. The Atlanta Braves began as the Boston Red Caps. The Boston Red Sox were the Boston Americans. Originally, the St. Louis Cardinals were the St. Louis Brown Stockings. The Houston Astros were the Houston Colt 45s. The Pittsburgh Pirates were the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. The Los Angeles Dodgers were the Brooklyn Atlantics. The San Francisco Giants were originally the New York Gothams. The Oakland A's were the Philadelphia Athletics. The Philadelphia Phillies were the Philadelphia Quakers. The Tampa Bay Rays were the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. From the looks of things last year, that exorcism seems to have worked. The Cleveland Indians were the Cleveland Blues, apropos. And finally, the Chicago White Sox were originally the second version of the Chicago White Stockings. That's it.